In the quiet suburbs of Pittsburgh, 2008, a chill settles over an ordinary home. Jerry, a man living alone, begins to notice ... things, small disturbances that gnaw at the edges of his reality. Lights left on in empty rooms, objects subtly out of place. Welcome to Hex and Hush, where the shadows whisper and the truth hides in plain sight. At first, Jerry dismisses these occurrences as forgetfulness, stress, perhaps even early signs of aging. But as days turn to weeks, the incidents multiply. He finds his shoes inexplicably damp one morning, as if someone had worn them in the rain. The TV is tuned to unfamiliar channels. Most unsettling of all, the toilet seat, which he always leaves down, is found up. Paranoia creeps in like a fog. Jerry begins to obsessively check and recheck locks, windows, closets. He installs new deadbolts, changes his routines, but nothing changes. The unseen presence persists, leaving traces of its existence in the most mundane of ways. Desperate for answers, Jerry takes a drastic step. With trembling hands, he installs a hidden camera in his living room, angling it towards the hallway and kitchen. As he reviews the first night's footage, his breath catches in his throat. If this gives you chills already, go ahead and tap subscribe and like. There's a lot more where this came from. The timestamp reads 3:08 a.m. when a figure emerges from the ceiling. A woman, small and wiry, descends from a hatch Jerry never knew existed. She moves with eerie familiarity through his home, helping herself to food from the fridge, using the bathroom, even watching his TV with the volume barely audible. Just before dawn, she climbs back into the ceiling, vanishing like a nightmare at sunrise. Jerry's hands shake as he dials 911. When the police arrive, their search reveals a horrifying truth. In the attic, they find a nest. Blankets, empty water bottles, food wrappers. Signs of long-term habitation. The woman is found huddled in a corner, blinking in the sudden light. Her name, they learn, is Hideko. She's homeless, they say, quiet, unnervingly calm as she's led away in handcuffs. But it's what Hideko says during questioning that shatters Jerry's world completely. This used to be my home. Decades ago, this house had been Hideko. After losing everything, her job, her family, her sense of self, she had returned to the only place that felt safe, and never left. The revelation leaves Jerry reeling. His sanctuary has become a prison of fear and doubt. Every creak, every shadow now holds the potential for hidden terrors. Sleep eludes him. The walls seem to watch. Within weeks, he puts the house on the market and moves, unable to shake the feeling of violation. If you think this is terrifying, you should see our story about the silent twins next. You won't believe how that one ends. Hideko's fate fades into bureaucratic obscurity after a brief stay in a mental health facility. But Jerry's story takes on a life of its own, spreading through whispered conversations and late-night internet forums. A modern, urban legend is born, made all the more chilling by its truth. In the years that follow, homeowners across the country report finding evidence of squatters in their attics, walls, and crawl spaces. Each incident sends a fresh wave of unease through communities, a reminder that our most private spaces may not be as secure as we believe. You check your doors, you check your windows, but when's the last time you checked your ceiling? This is Hex and Hush, where real horror lives. Hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. What would you do if someone had been living above you this whole time? Stay curious. Stay cautious. As the credits roll and screens fade to black, viewers are left with an unsettling awareness. The boundaries between safety and danger, known and unknown, are far more permeable than we care to admit. In the silence of our homes, In the spaces we think we know so well, there may be secrets lurking just out of sight. Jerry's story serves as a stark reminder that the most terrifying monsters are not always the ones we imagine in the dark. Sometimes, they're the lost souls who find their way into the cracks of our lives, existing alongside us in a parallel world of shadows and silence. The next time you hear an unexplained noise in the night, or notice something slightly out of place, remember Hideko. Remember that the walls have eyes, and the ceiling might just be breathing. In a world where we increasingly seek connection, Jerry's tale is a chilling counterpoint. A reminder that sometimes, we are never truly alone, even when we think we are. It forces us to confront the fragility of our perceived security and the thin line between solitude and unwanted company. For those who hear this story, home may never feel quite the same again. Every attic becomes a potential hiding place, every unexplained sound a possible footstep. The sanctity of personal space is forever tainted by the knowledge that our private worlds can be invaded in the most intimate of ways. Yet, there's a deeper, more unsettling question that lingers. In a society where people can become so invisible, so desperate that they resort to living in the shadows of others' lives, what does that say about us? About the world we've created? Hideko's presence in Jerry's attic was unjust an invasion. It was a silent cry for help. A ghost of a life that society had forgotten. In her desperation to reclaim a sense of home, she became the very thing that would haunt another's. As we turn off the lights and settle into our beds tonight, let's pause. Listen to the settling of the house, the creaks and groans of a structure we think we know, and wonder, just for a moment, if we're truly as alone as we believe. For in the world of hex and hush, the line between reality and nightmare is often blurred. The most terrifying stories are not those of supernatural monsters or otherworldly beings, but of the hidden horrors that exist within the familiar, the everyday, the mundane. Jerry's story reminds us that sometimes, the greatest fears are not of what might be lurking in the dark, but of what might be hiding in plain sight. It challenges our perceptions of safety, privacy, and the very nature of home. So tonight, as you lay your head down to sleep, remember, the ceiling above you might just be someone else's floor, and in the spaces between the known and unknown, true horror finds its home. This has been Hex and Hush, where we peel back the layers of reality to reveal the unsettling truths that lie beneath. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and always, always, check your attic. Because in a world where a stranger can live above you undetected, what other secrets might be hiding in the shadows of your life? Sleep tight, dear listeners. And remember, sometimes, the most terrifying stories are the ones that could happen to you.